rather than round. They're at the front of the formation in its march system. That is when the formation is just marching, saber, shield in front. The second weapon in the formation is called the wolf's head spear. And at the end of a long pole, like 10 or 12 feet, there would be, originally it was just the tip of a piece of bamboo with all the branches still here. And so it would be held out above the formation on the march, and it could be spun. If you're under arrow fire, those spinning branches actually can deflect arrows as the unit is standing or moving.
Oh, that's cool.
And they added blades, later on they added blades to the wood branches on the bamboo so it could be pushed into the face of someone who's trying to charge your formation and just be a confusing target of metal. And then later on, the whole thing was transformed into like a 7-bladed spear, which could still do the function of being up here and blocking arrows that come in. By the way, the Macedonian phalanx has the same idea. The rear ranks of the phalanx hold their pikes like this, so the incoming arrows can deflect off the pike shafts. But with the multiple blades at the top, that's what this does. That person is second in the formation. So I'll go ahead and bring up 2 more. Drop your bows. David. So your wolf's head spear, bamboo pole, wolf's head spear.
There's no wolf head, wolf blade.
The next 2 come to the front. The next 2 in the march formation are spearmen, riding at the time of the introduction of gunpowder weapons. And so he was rotating the early firearm, well, not early, but relatively early firearms instead of the archers into the system. And the reason that the missiles are at the back is because you all are protecting them. And what you're doing, again, the whole point why the Chinese moved to this system of having multiple arms within a single formation is that so they can change shape depending on I'm the enemy now, who the enemy is and where they are and what they're doing. So if I'm on horseback and I'm charging, then the Wolfsbane people step forward. So each of you, no, come together, go
Step
like
around,
this.
right?
No, like this.
No,
Side,
okay.
side, both sides.
Yeah, right. And basically you're going to step back, and Spear's going to come out here, protecting his flank. You're backing her up. Spear down, protecting his flank. You're backing her up as standby. And now you're making a hedge. You just made a hedge. Right? And the archers are protected. If my horsemen start going away, my archers step up into the gaps. Archers step up into the gaps, and you can shoot at retreating horsemen. So horsemen turn around because that's what Mongols do. You guys step back, Wolfsbane comes back down. If I'm infantry and I'm charging, then Wolfsbane actually depends on who the infantry is. One theory is that Qi Jiguang emphasizes the wolf, I'm calling Wolfsbane, wolf's head, is because they were fighting Japanese pirates who were coming in with samurai swords. And so part of the function of these is to keep that swordsman at a distance so that he's trying to chop away at the head of this thing, which he can do, but it's taken him a minute. And meanwhile, you can be attacking him from the flank, you can be coming at him from the flank. And again, we don't have all the details. I can't say do this, do that exactly, because Qi Jiguang doesn't lay out every single individual motion. But this is the basic idea, is you keep changing the shape and the positioning of the individual members. And it's all going to be done by, there's a squad, the double squad commander is going to be calling out the new formations. So depending on, again, where the enemy is and what they're doing, which direction they're going, you call out new formations and you just move in and out of those formations. And any questions?
No, really cool.
So that's it. I mean, that's
All right.
you've just done it.
That's enemy attack!
This is the unit of sort of the smallest tactical unit, 2 5-man squads.
And why is it called the Mandarin duck?
I don't know.
I think it's because
actually-
Mandarin ducks mated for life.
And it's because it is a paired Mandarin duck.
paired,
That's
right,
right.
right.
Because you're each a Mandarin duck.
Did they,
Mama duck and the baby ducks are behind.
was there any writing on, like, once people started getting killed,
What happens? Yeah.
Yeah, how do you
would
fill those
they
holes?
reform into something different?
That's the weakness. That's what makes it brittle.
Okay.
That's
Because
the-
then they
One
wouldn't
man
know
down.
That's
what to
true in a modern squad. The same
Yeah.
you have the same problem in a modern 10-man squad in which one guy is the machine gunner and one guy's the grenadier and one guy's the driver, one guy's the loader. That's what makes that formation
You
brittle.
know,
Well, each
the
member
good thing
is
is the
supplied by a
casualties drop
family, so probably
like
another
after
member of
the
that family.
so
would-
that
Oh,
not a lot of people
strategically,
get
he was
killed.
talking about in battle.
One to
Oh,
Japanese
yeah.
turret, we dead.
So, and the reason it's 2 5-man squads is the unit because this is a march formation, right? I put you originally in the march formation, so you would have another set of 5-man squads, another set of 5-man squads. You'd be marching in column through the woods.
So a full squad.
And when you come to deploy, if you imagine line, 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 and this becomes the battle line, your general is standing here, and one squad comes up, and as soon as they've stopped, then the next one peels off, and the next one is peeling off, and the next one is peeling off. And because all of the units are homogeneous size, they all go into the right place. That is another thing in world historical terms is relatively unusual. Homogeneous decimal sized units. The steppe does it, China does it. No one else does that until the 19th century. They're all different sizes because the sizes reflected the aristocratic or social standing of the commander who raised it. So if I raise 50 guys, then that's my 50 guys, and they always stay with me. But the Chinese in the steppe, they subdivided their units so that they could be more easily deployed.
The Romans didn't do that?
The Romans are sort of an exception to almost everything.
Right.
The Romans did put it
Because
on
when
much
you say
bigger set of
decimate,
numbers.
that's what we...
Right,
So
yeah.
Alexander the Great didn't do it.
We know some of the Greek systems have subdivisions, but they don't. Their lowest subdivision is like 256. And then they have files of 16, but they're not tactical units in the same way.
Very binary.
I guess the priority weapon for this group was the Wolfsbrush, and these guys are basically, so when you lose the Wolfsbrush, one of the spearmen picks it up.
Well,
and
the
keeps going.
Wolfsbrush is the priority defensive weapon. If you guys were going on the offensive, on the advance, as I think it goes, the spearmen would come to the front,
Length.
and
It was a much longer
the
spear than
shieldmen
this.
are going to be in the front if you're ever under fire. So when you start taking fire, the shieldmen come back to the front, and the Wolfsbane come up with their head angled over the top. But if you were advancing, the spearmen are going to be your main offensive weapon.
And the shield's probably like
Big rattan,
No, they're small.
Big rattan shield.
No, the one of them is only slightly bigger than this,
Whoa.
and then the other one would be about
Oblong,
this tall,
yeah.
Yeah,
oblong.
protect
about
all
this
of us.
thick. And I don't know why half the duck gets an oblong and half gets round. It may
It's
actually be
because I get to cover
it may be a
him.
rank marker.
I cover him.
I think it's a rank marker.
Really?
I think one guy, that way you can see, he's the senior guy.
Okay.
I think that's what it is.
Would it? Do you know on what side that person would be? In lion dance, the senior is on the left.
I didn't look at it last night, so I don't remember. I think the oblong is on this side.
So it would make sense to have so I could cover this.
You're not standing that close. It's not that kind of a close rank formation. That would be a very Greek thing to do, but
All right.
all right. Unless there's any other questions.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.